So my name's Michael, I'm 27. I've been climbing since early 2019, so it'd be going on to like close to 5 years now.
Hey, I'm Brendan Heywood. I've been in Armidale pretty well my whole life. I went to uni here, learnt to climb in uni. Pretty well my entire climbing career has been here. You know, you can't come here and just rock hop down the gorge, even if you don't climb, and just not enjoy yourself. It's just a fantastic place to just be and hang out and be with friends.
The climbing community here is tiny, like it's only a handful of people, but they're all lovely and they're all very keen. Yeah, you can kind of drag them up anything. They're like, oh, that was fun, even though it was like something horrific.
So much drag.
Here, Gara and Yarrawick and most of the other places, it's all sort of granite country. And I would consider it good granite, but especially down in the gorges where it's been eroded. These are very old gorge systems that span, hundreds of kilometres, down into the Macleay River. There's these beautiful waterfalls and it's all this water eroded granite all the way back up to the Cascades. The climbing here really started back in the 60s, and that's where all of the focus was, on that sort of big kind of mountaineering style climbing. And then as friends came along in the 70s and 80s and sticky rubber and all the rest of it, as it did everywhere else, the routes got more technical and bolts started to appear and harder and harder routes got up.
The development in the gorge has come in sort of waves of sort of psyched people coming along and then heading off in their own directions. At the moment it's sort of me and Brendan, and it was Ben and Benji as well are doing lots and lots of stuff out here. But I definitely foresee doing lots more development here. I can't even name the amount of faces that me and Brendan have looked at and gone like, yeah, there'll be routes all along that. And so I definitely think I'll be here for a long time.
think the attraction for a visiting climber, I would say, is that there's just a little bit of everything. Like a lot of crags, if you go to the Blue Mountains, there's a certain style. If you go to, say, Frog Buttress, there's a certain style. And Gara really defies being pinned down to one style. The project that, Michael sent a couple of weeks ago, Kiss Me Deadly, is like a stonker's roof crack. And then around the corner here, we've got like a really technical crimpy slab, and we've got a ret climbs, and we've got like really weird paving style boulder problems, and we've just got everything. And you'll have completely different styles right next door to each other, or you might have a route that climbs 5 or 10 meters in one style and then completely swaps it around. You can have really modern, safe sort of domestic climbs, and then you can have really adventurous climbs. It's just something for everyone, and it's pretty easy to get a taste of like a whole bunch of different things in one day.
I think the main reason I like the climbing here is it's definitely a little bit different. Like it's always quite a bit of an adventure. Like there's pretty much no crags here that are just pack some drawers and a rope and just go for some sport climbing. Like they're pretty much all like long hikes, which are very pretty. And usually because it's so broken up, you have to wrap like 3 times to get to where you want to be, and it's always, you always end up leaving the crag with a few extra stories of something that went wrong. It just adds extra value to it, I reckon. It's just like when you finally tick that project, like you think about all the work that like went into it rather than just turning up to the sport crag. It definitely adds extra value for sure.
Especially with bouldering, myself and a sort of pretty small group of friends, we've just developed a ton of boulders, and so we put up maybe 200 boulder problems in the gorge, all sorts of grades and all sorts of styles, and that's what I love about the gorge. It's just something for everyone. There's just so much. There's a lot of really weird, interesting problems here. Some days I'll go out and I'm sort of a little bit grumpy and I'm like, oh, the gorge is tapped out, and you know, we've sort of done everything, or everything's, you know, everything I haven't done is too hard. And then you come around the corner and you find something new, and then, you know, you give it a tickle and it's like amazing. And then, you know, holes just appear out of nowhere and suddenly there's this whole new route that's appeared out of nothing. And I just love that. And it's sort of just, you know, this constant progression of like, oh, you know, we're done. And then it's like, oh, there's another 5 routes that we just found. And it's like, oh, you know, everything's done. And now I've got to the point where I'm like, the amount of climbing potential in this gorge is kind of infinite.
There we go. There we go. Don't come down. No dinner.
I think it puts some people off sometimes because whilst there is a lot of information on the crag about it, it is genuinely somewhat difficult to find the crags when you've never been here before. And so if you do want to come here, you should definitely like message me or Brendan. We're like more than happy to like show you around. But I definitely think before you come here, like get some good info from some people because it will make it a lot better if you come here.
Yeah, so climbing is in an interesting situation. There's lots of crags which are at threat of being closed, and that's like a concern for everyone. We're somewhat lucky in that we're a relatively small, tight-knit community. We're not high volume, so there's not a lot of impact here, but that's still very much a privilege that we take very seriously, and we don't take it for granted. In sort of 5 or 10 years, I would hope that we just have, you know, we just keep the steady trickle of sort of visiting climbers and the tight-knit bunch of locals keeping on going. I would like to see climbing understood by people outside of climbing, local government, national parks, and have really good relationships, especially with national parks, so that we don't sort of repeat the mistakes that have been made or the issues that are occurring in other places.
Stay here until he's finished his project. So did not fuck around. You!